Hey guys, I'm Brogan. Today in this video, we're going to be diving into this product right here. This is a Kinhank product, but not your typical Kinhank product. This is the Kinhank KP1 mini projector. This offers 1080p resolution, 450 ANSI lumens. We have 32 gigabyte storage capacity on here, 1200 to 1 contrast ratio. We have the ability to project from 40 inches all the way up to 120 inches. So really excited about this. We also have some amazing features like autofocus. We have auto keystone correction. We have screen alignment features on here. And we also have a built-in Android system here, which offers Wi-Fi 6 as well as Bluetooth 5.2. So we're going to open this up, take a look at the layout and design, and then test it out. All right, guys, here it is. Let's go ahead and start opening this up. So it's a good sized box, but the actual projector itself is relatively small here. We're going to set that aside. Let's see what else is in here. We've got our power supply cable right here, two-part connection. Here is our smart projector instruction guide. And then what else do we have in here? All right, and right here we have a 360-degree gimbal stand. Now we do have some assembly required on this. I believe that's how that goes, and this is going to turn. Sweet. All right, so there should be some set screws here because as you can see, there's 4 screw holes there. These have to be secured in place. So let me see if I can locate those screws. So the gimbal has its own little set of instructions here, but yeah, it's pretty much just those 4 set screws that need to be installed. I'm going to go ahead and do exactly that right now. All right, guys, so we have all 4 screws set here in the bottom of the gimbal, and we do have this little rubber piece right here that just sits over there. There's a little adhesive back to this. We do have to peel off the little paper end to that to expose the adhesive bond there. There we go. And then this is basically just going to cover up those 4 screw holes there and act as a little rubber stopper here that provides a little bit of grab on a hard surface. So if we set that down, you can see I'm shaking the whole table here, but I'm not able to even slide this easily across the surface. It grips on here beautifully. So let's clean up the area a little bit and let's bring over our projector. Alrighty, so here's the projector. Now down here at the bottom, you're going to see there's a little thread here. You don't have to use the gimbal stand right here, but it's definitely going to be a better experience if you do. You'll notice that there is a thread right here on the bottom of this. You can simply turn it from the bottom here, and you can secure it in place. Now, before I actually secure that on the 360-degree gimbal, I want to take a closer look here. So first off, our lens located right there. We do have our full HD 1080p autofocus sensor here. Built-in speaker on here. We have a button up here at the top. Now backside is where we're going to find all of our ports. We have our power supply connection right down here on the end. We have a USB-A connection right here. HDMI port right there, so we can actually connect this over to like a game console, a PC, pretty much any device through that HDMI connection. And then we also have over here our audio jack connection. If you wanted to set up headphones on here, you could easily do that. So great ventilation on here, great speakers that are built into this, but we got to test out the performance. First, I'm going to install it right here. All you have to do is just simply line this up. Once you line it up, you just simply tighten it from the bottom right there, and it's going to secure itself in place. All right, guys, I've just secured this in place here. You just tighten this up until you can't tighten it anymore, but this is the 360-degree gimbal. Take a look at this. I mean, we can rotate this around in circles if we wanted to. And now you're probably wondering, like, what would we ever use any of that for? Well, nothing is truly ever level, right? So I have an unlevel floor here in the studio, in fact, and when I go ahead and I put something down on the ground, it looks perfectly fine, but the higher you get, the more you notice that it's kind of sitting like this. So let's just prop this up weird like this. And let's say our floor was that far off, which if you have a floor that far off, you have major issues that are going to extend far beyond using a projector. But just for the sake of creating an example here, let's say that we're putting it on a surface that's that far off. You can simply adjust everything and level it out by just doing that. That's all you have to do. And now you have a level experience. You even have more auto-focusing capabilities that you can access with the remote once you power this on as well. So that right there is a major adjustment that we can manually do, but there's so many auto adjustments with the keystone correction and so on that we can do once we power this on, and it's time to do exactly that. So we're going to dive into some games. We're going to demo this in a dimly lit room so you guys can see exactly how well the Kinhank KP1 mini projector actually works. All right guys, so we've got our Kinhank projector up here on the side of this wall. And this is the middle of the day. It's just after 12 noon. Very well lit room right now. We're not in the dark by any means. It's a sunny day outside. I've got 3 windows. Yes, these shades are drawn currently, but we're still getting a lot of sunlight in here. You can see me very clearly here today. So I'm impressed by how well this looks, considering the fact that most projectors, you need to have a very dimly lit or totally blacked out room for a crisp visual on here, and this looks really good considering the fact that we have so much sunlight coming in here naturally. So lots of different options here. If we take our remote and we just navigate up here to the top, you're going to notice that we have our USB as well as our HDMI connections here. So if we go into HDMI, I have currently one of my computers plugged into this via HDMI connection, so we can click on that right here, and you'll see that we jump right into my Windows 11 setup here. It is password protected at the moment. We're not fully into it, but you can see 12/18, Thursday, April 24th on here. I will show you guys this in action. I'll probably jump into this PC, play some Fortnite once the sun goes down so you can see the crisp visuals on here in a darkened room. But right now I want to comb through what this has to offer because there's some amazing features on this Kinhank projector. So first and foremost, we have the My App section right over here. This is where you can go in, you can add custom apps to this. Now notice at the bottom we have shortcuts here. We have YouTube in the bottom left corner, we have Netflix, Miracast, we have our Bluetooth settings here, and we also have our web browser. So you can use this with all of those on here. If we go into My App, you're going to find more than just the shortcuts there. You're going to find everything that is currently installed on here. So in addition to that, we have Netflix here, we have Prime Video over there, and then a lot of the other options were visible in the shortcut there across the bottom. Now, if you want to add custom applications to this, all we have to do is we have to back out of here. We go over to the App Store, which is located right over here. We'll go into the App Store. This is where you can add like ESPN Plus, Disney Plus. You can start adding smart apps that are not on here stock. So we'll let this load in for a second, and I'll show you guys how you search for different apps that you want to add on here for easy access. So perfect, we have the main page over here. We can go to home. We can access everything that is right on here. So over here we have our featured apps. If we scroll down, you can see all of these can be added in here. YouTube and Netflix are already on, but Spotify TV was not, so we can simply download that if we want to. There's lots of different apps to choose from here, but what I would recommend doing is just searching for exactly what you're looking for. Just go all the way over here to the top of that left column, go up to the search icon up there, and now you can type in what you're looking for. So like if I wanted ESPN, for example, I'll just go over here and I'll type in ESPN. And I didn't even have to type it in beyond just the E and the S. We have ESPN right over here. We have ESPN TV right over here. So if I wanted to go ahead and download those, all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to navigate over. I'll go over to ESPN. And you can see right there, free to download right there at the bottom. Now, if you want like ESPN Plus, obviously you're going to have an account. You're going to have to be able to sync up your account to all this. Same with Netflix, you're going to need to log in, all that good stuff, Prime Video, etc. But easy to do, we just simply go down here and we can go to where it says get free download. We'll just go ahead and hit OK right here, and you can see it's starting the download process, and it's going to drop it right into the app section of our Kinhank projector. So lots of great capabilities here. I'm going to back out. I want to show you guys a couple other things here real quick. So here we are back on the main page. Now we also have settings over here. We can go into settings, you can connect it over to Wi-Fi. You're going to need to do that if you want to add in apps or even access apps. Obviously you need to have Wi-Fi connection established. But we can go in here, we can mess with different settings to change the visuals here. If you want to rotate this, if you want to flip this, if you end up mounting your projector from like the ceiling and it's hanging upside down, you can invert it. So you can make all those custom settings adjustments within your settings here. We also have the wallpaper up there at the top, you'll see, and some additional settings that have shortcuts up there. But Really incredible picture here. We're going to dive into a couple videos just so we can show how this actually looks in the middle of the day, and then we'll dive into some gameplay of Fortnite so you guys can see how this looks in a darkened room, which is how most people are probably going to be using this.
Hey, what's up everybody, Retro Gaming Guy here. So I finally got my hands on the Kinhank 12TB retro game drive right here. Now this advertises over 40,000 games, 2,500 of which are supposedly AAA titles. So I am stoked to dive into this. We're going to unbox this. We're going to boot it up on my PC. Let's get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this up. So first off, this is a massive external hard drive.
Alright guys, we checked out the Kinhank projector right here, and I love the construction of this. It's all plastic. It's relatively lightweight. It does have a little weight to it, but I would still consider it to be lightweight. I have some much heavier projectors that I've reviewed in the past, and because this is more compact, yet still high quality plastic here, it definitely is a little bit lighter than some of the competitors out there. Now, this looks visually incredible during the day, and you know, I know what you're thinking. Projectors are meant to be used in dark rooms. You're 100% right. But the fact that I did try this during the daylight hours and I could still see everything perfectly on my wall really says a lot about this projector from Kinhank. Now, obviously, in a dark room in the evening hours here, or if you have, you know, shades that you can cancel out all of the light from coming in, it's going to look 10 times better. You guys saw that today as I jumped into a bunch of video games on this. You see that it looks way better than during the day, but even the fact that you can see things during the day is a major plus for this product. Now, the built-in speakers here are incredible. The volume gets super loud without distortions. It's really important to mention that because a lot of times I end up with distortions in the audio with built-in speakers like this. That's not the case here. At 50% volume level, this gets super loud. Now, I went as far as 75% and it was really loud, still no distortions. I think if you went to 100% and you were, you know, standing anywhere in the vicinity of the actual projector, it would almost be too loud for you. But still, I don't believe there's going to be any distortions even at 100% volume level. So the audio quality on here really is amazing. Now, this is what I would call a smart projector because you have access to all of your streaming apps right on here. All you're going to have to do is just establish a Wi-Fi connection and you can sync up your Netflix account, your Prime account, your ESPN account. You can go in there and add pretty much whatever streaming app you want thanks to the App Store that's built into this. It uses Android, so you have full access to all of those smart apps that are out there. It really is a great product. Now, the only complaint that I have is this base right here. it enables you to, and I ended up using this actually on a little tripod holder instead, because the height of where I wanted it in my studio here, I just couldn't make it work with this stand. So this stand does turn like this. You can turn it in all these different directions. However, there's no way to adjust the pitch on here unless you just kind of build up the base. Like I could put, for example, this box underneath here, and now I'm taking it from, being totally flat to, I could put it like this, and now it's angled. But I wish that there was a hinge on here where you can adjust it. This is a great adjustment where you can go all the way around 360 degrees, but you need to have some sort of pitch so you can elevate this. So because of that, I went with the tripod, where this does have the thread, the same thread that you would go ahead and put it on this base with. But by putting it on a tripod, I'm able to bring it to the exact height that I want it on without having to worry about pitching this. So I would say the only improvement that could be made to this projector isn't in the actual projector, it's in the base right here. This is great with how it turns this way, but you really need to have it be able to adjust this way as well. So I would give it a strike against it for this right here, but the projector itself is incredible. It's high quality, it's reliable, and I definitely think that it would do a lot of good for a lot of people that want to have that home theater experience. So I'm going to provide you guys with a link at the top of your screen, as well as in the description of this video. Click over, get some additional information on what this is currently priced at, because prices do fluctuate with these, on a regular basis. So definitely check those links. Let me know what you guys think about what you saw here with the Kinhank projector in this video. That's going to do it for today, though. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up on the video. And of course, hit subscribe right here on the Chase Brogan YouTube channel to stay in the loop for all future videos. That's going to do it for today. I'll see you on the next one.